How long did you stay at the Albert residence in total? Like from the time you got there to the time you left?
Maybe like a half hour, less than an hour.
And what time did you leave? Say 12:30, you said?
I think I said between 12:30 and 1 a.m.
Stop. Did you see a car pass in front?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What kind of car did that look like to you?
It looked like a two-door Jeep Wrangler with a plow on it.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it. Why the rush? Why did you leave so quick?
Because it was a long day and I just wanted to go home.
Except you didn't go home, did you?
No, I went back to Canton PD.
Right. Okay, stop. Sergeant, did you, during the course of your investigation, learn whether or not anybody associated with your investigation had a two-door Jeep Wrangler with a plow on it?
Yes.
Who is that?
Mr. Brian Higgins.
Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and play this. So it wasn't such a long day that you actually drove home. You went back to the Canton Police Department at 1 or 1:30 in the morning, correct?
To move vehicles, correct.
Where exactly did you go when you left 34 Fairview?
I went back to the Canton Police Station.
How far drive is it from Fairview to the police station? You know?
Well, I mean, the weather was picking up, so it probably took me a little bit longer to get back, but it's probably 5-10 minutes maybe.
Okay, stop. Sir, do you see a person who appears to have alighted from the car?
Yes.
From the Jeep? Does that appear to be the location of the person that you're describing?
That's the individual that came out of the vehicle, yes.
Okay. I know it's super blurry. You may not be able to at this point. Do you know who that is?
I do not know.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play it. Why did you go to Canton Police Department that night? That morning?
What's the question?
Why did you go to the Canton Police Department that morning?
The morning when I left 34 Fairview, the Friday into Saturday?
Correct.
To move two vehicles.
Did it appear that that person had something in his or her hands?
Possibly, yes.
Okay. Before this is played, Sergeant, do you recognize what's depicted in this photograph?
I do not know.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play this. Stop. What do you see on the video at this point?
An individual crossing the frame with a couple of cars parked, one of which has a plow on it.
Does it look like an exterior video?
Yes.
Does that appear to be an exterior video if you don't know exactly where, an exterior video of Canton PD?
From the facilities, yes.
Okay. And describe the person that you see in the foreground at the bottom of the screen.
Appears to be wearing a black sweatshirt, a hooded sweatshirt.
Larger in stature, smaller in stature, can you tell?
I'd be speculating because there's no comparison, but possibly larger. I don't know.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it. And that's it for that. Magic. Wow. I didn't even know he could do that. Okay, can you read that?
Yes, it says rear lot cruiser side.
Okay, what about the time?
The timestamp reads 1:27:41.
Do you see a date?
Yes.
What is that date?
1/29/2022.
Thank you. Is it possible to see from there the time and date?
Yes, the time is 1:27:32 a.m. and the date is 1/29/2022.
Thank you. If we could start, Mr. Wolk, by enhancing with the court's permission the time and date, let's just start with that. Do you see what the timestamp designates this camera angle to be?
It appears to be church side, and I can't read the third word there.
Exterior?
Oh, yes, exterior. Sally Port.
Okay, and if you could tell the jurors what you see in terms of the time and date.
The time is 1:27:43 a.m. and the date is 1/29/2022.
You entered the Canton Police Station through which door?
I believe it was the door to the right of the Sally Port as you come in the main entrance.
Do you see a person in that video?
I do.
although it's somewhat blurry. Can you describe that individual for us, please?
Individual wearing dark clothing, possibly. That's the best I could do, really.
Okay. Does it appear, given what you've seen in terms of the time of the main side, cruiser side, and now this exterior church side, does that appear to be the same person moving through on the outside of Canton PD?
It does, yes.
Okay. And what are we looking at here, by the way? What is this door he's about to walk into?
I'd be guessing. I was never present on that side of the Sally Port.
Understood.
I don't know.
It shows that you entered Canton PD for the first time on the 29th at 1:27 a.m. Does that sound about right when you got there? You said to move your car. Can you see what that is designated as that camera angle?
Yes, it says first floor corridor, and the time is 1:28:03 a.m. on the 29th of January, 2022.
Okay. Is this the corridor version or video that you did have some recollection of?
Yes, this is, yes.
Okay. And you made note of who was on duty that night, correct?
I didn't make note. I walked by, I saw somebody sitting in the control room, and then just went about my business.
So you immediately knew that your friend, Officer Good, was working dispatch, right? Do you recognize the person in this video?
It appears to be Mr. Brian Higgins.
Okay. And what is he wearing? Describe it for the jurors.
Black sweatshirt with some sort of logo on the front. It appears to be blue jeans and shoes with a white trim.
And is the hood up or down on the sweatshirt?
It's up.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play this.
The time is 1:28:16 a.m.
If you went back to Canton PD at 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, you would certainly be in a position to monitor anything that was happening at Canton PD at the time that at least you were there, correct?
No.
I mean, you would be inside the building, correct?
Yes.
With access to dispatch and anything else that was happening around that floor, that area, correct?
I did not go into dispatch.
You would have access to the interior of the police station at that time if you went back to Canton PD at 1:30 in the morning, correct?
I'd have access.
1:29:42 a.m.
You could see if there was any activity going on, any calls, call-outs, things of that nature.
I didn't have access to that. I wasn't looking for it.
Not that you were looking for it, Mr. Higgins. My question is more simple than that. If you were there, you'd know what was going on inside the building.
No.
So if you walked in, you'd just be completely oblivious to anything that was happening. For instance, if troopers started amassing to go out to a call, you wouldn't see that.
1:34:12 a.m.
And in the time, just so the record's clear, in the time between you saying 1:28:16 to 1:34:12, 6 minutes has not gone by, correct?
Just under 6, I believe, yeah.
Well, 6 minutes for us in real time.
Oh, in real time, yeah, no.
It is not. So it
Sorry.
appears that the camera jumped, or the time jumped.
The time difference from what was displayed is approximately 6 minutes, yes.
Okay, which is much further, much longer than the time we've actually been looking at the video, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so it appears that it may be motion activated and it just jumped.
That's a possibility, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let's go ahead and continue playing this. And stop. Do you see someone in the screen now?
Yes.
And one more time, I know this is laborious, one more time if we could clock the time. Can you see that?
No, it's really blurry for me.
There we go.
Yes, now I can see it 1:34:15, if I'm not mistaken, a.m.
Okay, fair enough. And let's go ahead and play this all the way through. You were able to monitor, you'd be in a position to monitor what was happening at the station around 1:30 in the morning when you were over there, correct?
No.
Okay. Who did that appear to be walking away from the camera in this shot?
I'm not certain. I would be suspecting or guessing if I gave you an answer, but I'm not certain who that is.
As best you can determine, does he have the same stature? I know you can't see his face. Same stature, same clothing, jeans, shoes with white stripe around it, dark hooded sweatshirt. It should appear to be the same person as Brian Higgins.
It does appear that way, yes.
Okay. Okay. What do you see in this video?
Appears to be the church side sally port, and an individual came out of the door.
Okay, and can we highlight the time, please, or increase the size? What time do you see there?
1:34:40 a.m.
Okay, if we go ahead and play this through. Pause. Does it appear from this video that the person has anything in his hand?
I'm sorry, can you play that again? I wasn't looking at the hand,
Oh,
but
sure, sure.
I really can't tell.
Okay. Pause. What do you see in that video?
It appears to be an individual wearing a black beanie hat, black dark colored sweatshirt with some design on it, and something illuminating by his face.
Can we enhance the time, please? What time is that?
It says 1:34 and 53 seconds in the morning, a.m.
And if you could move the screen over to the individual, Mr. Wolt. Does that appear to be the same person?
It could possibly be, yeah.
And does it appear as something in his hand up to his face, the right side of his face or ear?
Yes.
What do you think that is?
It's consistent with a cellular device, possibly a phone or a tablet.
Okay. If we could move on, please. Play that through. Okay, stop. Do you see a person in the video walking from screen right to screen left?
Yes.
Did that person appear to have something in his right hand?
I can't tell. I can't see his right hand.
Okay. When he first walked into the screen, could you tell?
I couldn't know. I'm sorry.
Mr. Wolt, could we back that up with the court's permission about 2 seconds? Stop. Did it appear as something in his hand?
It's a possibility, yes.
Okay. And just for, I'm going to ask you for 2 times when we start and when we stop. What's the time on this video at this point when he walks into frame?
1:35 and 8 seconds in the morning, a.m.
Okay. And let's go ahead and play this through.
Well, we had traveled down for the services for those police officers, and we anticipated staying the following day. I think I had said that we left the day earlier. So I had left a key to the surveillance vehicle on top of my desk so that somebody could move the vehicle, because a lot of times Chief Berkowitz would get after me. As a courtesy, I was parking vehicles there, sometimes my personal, but primarily my work vehicles. And one thing he asked me, just leave the vehicles in the middle of the parking lot so that snow could be cleared. So the reason for heading back there was to move those vehicles, because if I didn't do it then, I would have had to get up early and do it. And I also know they plow through the night, so that would be the reason for heading back.
There's been quite an evolution of that story over the years, has there not?
I don't understand the question.
All right, let's talk about that for a second. You had an initial interview with Massachusetts State Police on February 3rd, 2022.
Yes.
Correct? And you indicated during the course of that interview, which was just a couple of days, 5 days, after the events in question, that you left Brian Albert's house, went to Canton PD to, quote, fulfill some administrative obligations, end quote, correct? You later said, when you testified in front of the grand jury on April 28th, that you went to Canton PD to do, quote, administrative work, correct?
Yes.
You never mentioned.
I said administrative things.
You said administrative work was your testimony in your transcript.
I believe it was things, but okay.
Okay. Can we agree, Mr. Higgins, that you didn't mention anything about moving cars around, correct?
Well, that would be administrative.
So, when you say I went to Canton PD to do administrative work or administrative obligations, you meant moving your car, your personal vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Although you didn't say that you were going there to move your personal vehicle, right?
No, I said I didn't move my personal vehicle, I moved work vehicles.
Or either one? You just traded off vehicles, moved them out of the way, right?
I moved the purpose for going back there was to move 2 work vehicles.
And the reality is you had gotten there, you had gotten Canton PD earlier in the afternoon and actually moved some other vehicles, traded vehicles, didn't you?
I swapped vehicles out, that's correct.
Right. And you left the vehicles that you now claim you had to go move exactly where they were, even though you knew a blizzard was coming, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So you didn't move the cars a few hours earlier, knowing that you just have to come back and move those cars a few hours later.
I was more concerned to go eat and have a drink because it had been a long day.
So wouldn't you want to move those cars early on so you wouldn't have to go all the way back to Canton and play, parking lot with these cars in the middle of the night?
Not really.
Mr. Higgins, you weren't actually at Canton PD to do administrative work at 1:30 in the morning, were you?
I was moving the vehicles. Generally in the parking lot, when you come into the police station, you drive in, sally ports are off to your right-hand side. There's 2 bay doors there. There's a pass-through door, and then over in the corner would typically where I would bury both vehicles. So if I was, typically it would be my take-home pickup truck that I described earlier, and it would be the surveillance vehicle. But if I had, that could be swapped out with one of my personal vehicles. I would leave a personal vehicle there if I took one of those 2 vehicles. And then for me to access into the building, the most direct door would be that pass-through door by the sally port.
Pause it, please. Sergeant, at this point, do you see a person walking into the frame the video from frame left to frame right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going up to my office to grab the key for that surveillance vehicle. So when you come through that pass-through door at the sally port, the first door would be through the booking, the holding area that directly goes into the dispatch area. But if you walk to the extreme other end, there's another door on the other end, common hallway. Walk down that hallway, hit a set of stairs, and I would go up that way.
And did you happen to go by the dispatch area specifically, and if so, do you know who was working there that night?
Newly promoted Sergeant Good, I believe. Probably, he was on midnights.
Do you have any specific recollection of seeing him there that evening or that early morning when you came by?
I believe I waved to him. Yeah, I anticipated not even being back in Massachusetts, knew the storm was coming, didn't know how bad it was, but I left the key on the desk to facilitate somebody being able to move that.
And so you go to your office, you get the key, and then where did you go from there?
I go back downstairs and I move the vehicles to the center of the parking lot.
Can you pause it? Did you see something happen with the vehicle next to the Jeep in the last few seconds?
Yes.
What was that?
It appears as though the headlights are activated.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it. Okay, pause it. You see a person that is walking from screen right to screen left in the middle of the screen?
Yes, he just, or she just appears to have closed the door on that vehicle next to the plow.
Okay. And walking toward which vehicle?
The one on the furthest on the left.
Okay. From what you've seen, Sergeant, that you said he or she, does that person appear to be consistent with the video that we've seen in other particulars of Brian Higgins?
As far as I could tell from here, they The individual accessed Brian Higgins' vehicle, so I'd be speculating with the whiteout conditions or near whiteout conditions. It's tough to tell.
But no reason to believe it's anybody other than Brian Higgins accessing Brian Higgins' vehicle.
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's go ahead and play it. And what do you see Brian Higgins or that person doing now?
They accessed the vehicle on the far left.
Okay. And where's that person going?
Now they're accessing the Jeep Wrangler.
Can you pause it? Where does that individual appear to be now in the video?
Last I could tell, they might be by the Jeep Wrangler.
Before that person got to the Jeep Wrangler, was he standing by the vehicle on the far left, SUV or truck?
It appeared that way, but with the heavy whiteout snow that night, I can't tell exactly what they were doing.
Did you see anything in his hand, like a bag or a satchel or a duffel bag or something, when that person walked from this vehicle over to the Jeep?
I did not notice, no.
Go ahead.
And as far as Canton Police Station is concerned, are you familiar with or were you aware at the time that there was sort of security and cameras and such around the station?
Yes.
You're aware that those cameras record, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, has that person walked off screen to the left?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you see that person entering screen from screen left?
Yes.
And sir, you were not on duty that day, correct?
No,
You are not a Canton police officer, correct?
that's correct.
You were not assigned to this investigation in any formal capacity, were you?
I was not.
As a matter of fact, you're a witness in a homicide investigation. That's your only role in this, correct?
That's correct, but they're still my friend.
What did you just see the person do?
They were carrying possibly like a snow broom, walking from left to right.
tell the truth.
And what do you see happening now?
The Jeep Wrangler's leaving the spot it was parked in.
Okay.
Yes, the time for the rear lot main side is 1:45:52.
And it appears that's the approximate time that the Jeep Wrangler drove off?
Approximately, yes.
Okay. Thank you.